the murk, the tidal currents, the darkness. The problem with shipwrecks, of course, is you gotta know how to overcome all of that to explore them. Or do you?
And all of a sudden, you're going through this gloom, and there's just like, whoa.
Michael Schwinghamer started the Nova Scotia Shipwreck Mapping Project a couple of years ago. He's the webmaster, the diver, photographer, 3D modeler, and he's driven to capture these wrecks before they're lost to time, decomposing in their watery graves, where sometimes only the bones remain.
It's your heritage. And no one's looking after it and like doing the preservation of it. And at least this is a digital preservation of it at that one point. And I just want some people to be able to go and experience it.
His passion feeds his persistence, like in the case of a ship believed to have sunk by the Halifax explosion in 1917, a copper-clad schooner in the narrows of Halifax Harbor.
Drop line goes down, and it's like that 1 in 1,000 time where like it actually goes perfect. And it's like right on this wreck. There's not much current. Visibility's pretty good. And there's just this broken down ship in front of me. And I'm like, oh, I found it.
Then comes the photogrammetry. He lays down a visual reference for measurements, then swims back and forth above the wreck, taking overlapping photos with a consumer-grade camera, just like mowing a lawn.
Came home. I don't even know if I rinsed my gear. Just immediately ran in, started processing everything, and it just flew through, and it all worked out. It's beautiful. I love that model.
Then back at home, he imports them into a computer program that looks for common points in the photos and interpolates depth.
The magic is all in the software.
Photogrammetry has allowed Schwinghamer to publish models of 12 wrecks on his website, the closest renditions he can create, even when they're not ships at all. But he says he couldn't do it without help. Archaeologists, people with underwater coordinates, or buds with boats who can take him where he needs to go.
I'm incredibly privileged. The diving community in Nova Scotia is really small. When you have passion and you sort of push for things, you sort of meet more and more people that are like-minded and that want you to go further.
He identifies the wrecks with the best information and knowledge he can get, and that includes published works of scientists. He's okay if his models aren't exact replicas. The point, he says, is to give the public access to these special places, a sense of history in decay.
And the wreck is what matters. And like, it's super difficult to do. Like, it's stupidly time-consuming. You've spent a huge amount of money on gear, and there's no return for any of these things, so you're just kind of doing it because you love it.
Schwinghamer plans on deeper dives, more wrecks, more mysteries, and one in particular.
The wreck that everyone wants to find in Nova Scotia is called HMCS Esquimalt, the last Canadian warship that was sank in World War II. And it's just out in the outer harbor, but we don't know where it is. I want to find it eventually. That's going to, like, if I can use all of my, like, resources and, like, every good favor that's come to me, I will eventually be part of the finding of this wreck and one day map it if I can.
Is that your white whale?
Oh, there's probably, yeah.
David Irish, CBC News, Halifax.